Everyone, this is Tina and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about some situations where what we in the United States call family annihilators. The most, I think, reputable case, or the case that's gotten the most attention, is the Chris Watts case. That's all over the internet. I'm not going to talk about him today or anything to do with Shanann or all her poor little babies. It's awful. The story that I'm going to talk about it's equally awful. And the thing is that no one really knows when someone is going to strike or have a mental break or do things like this. From what I've read, it says that some men, and this isn't always just men that, you know, commit these sort of acts. I'm sure we've all read stories about women that have done things as well. But this particular situation is about a man who was a millionaire, and I believe he made his money through an insulation company. His name is, excuse me, sorry about that. He was a businessman and he made his money through insulation. His name is Christopher Foster. So it's kind of weird. One of the last stories I did was another man named with last name Foster. So from the things that I've seen and read, it said that I don't know if this is true or not. This is alleged, and these are just things I've read. You can do your own research and come to your own conclusions of whatever it is. I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to try to diagnose anyone or say anything like that. It says that one of the beginning signs of a person, also known as a family annihilator, um, is domestic abuse. Now, some of the cases that I've read about, I haven't really seen a lot of domestic abuse, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. I mean, it might have happened and we just don't know that it happened. So like, and we don't know what goes on between a couple when they're behind their doors. So in any event, the man, he was overspending, and he was spending like crazy from what I've read, and he was living way above his means. So he wasn't making enough for the kind of lifestyle that he was living, even though he was doing well. So it's kind of bizarre. So what ended up happening is, also from what I read, is that he was a bit of a narcissist. Now, again, that's what I read. I'm not making a diagnosis or anything like that. It said that he had a 49-year-old wife, he had children, and then he had like mistresses on the side. So, that could be that could just be rumor, or it could be true. So it's kind of sad. What he did was, I guess he had gone to the doctor. From what I read, there's an article in BBC, and it said that he went and saw his doctor because he told his doctor that he was feeling, that he was going to harm himself. And unfortunately, the doctor didn't take him seriously, from what I've read. I'm not sure, 100% sure about that, nor will I mention who the doctor is. But it just says here, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, if a man feels he has no place to turn, although you can't be sure he is going to commit a family massacre, you can be sure he needs your help. So there are these men that, or in this situation, males that, they are the breadwinners of the family, and something goes wrong. and they feel like they no longer have a place and that they're not doing their job as a husband or the caretaker, the breadwinner, the provider of the family. It's so sad because, just because you lose one job or things go down financially, there's other ways to handle things. It's kind of sad here though because this person did reach out for help. The goal here is to just try to let people know that, like, if you're struggling, there's help. You just need to reach out for it. People cannot see, you can pass people along the street every day. You don't know what they're going through. No one knows what they're going through. You might have someone who, is crabby or mean or whatever, but uh, sometimes there's a reason behind that. It could be that they're suffering somehow inside, or you never know. Like a lot of things, could have happened. So apparently, what he did was he went into the house and he um, shot his wife in the back of the head. And then he went and did the same thing to his daughter in the same way. He then proceeded to go to the barn, I guess, where he shot and killed his horses and dogs. And then later, once those things were all done, he went back into the house. He set the house on fire, and then he laid there and died of smoke inhalation there next to his wife. This is a really sad story. It's not just sad, you know, it's sad for the wife, the family of and it's just really sad because if you look, there's some pictures out there and it shows like a foyer where or not a foyer, is more there's like a grand fireplace in the house, and it would normally be a place where everyone would gather and, just have those. It was really cozy, supposedly, and everything on the outside looked beautiful. Obviously, everything on the inside was a problem. I think a lot of this also goes down to mental illness. I'm not saying that, I'm not making any diagnosis or anything like that, but what I'm saying is the thought process was all messed up. He was obviously not thinking right. The status of money, like, it just, to me, it's just not reason for well, there's never any reason for murder unless someone's trying to murder you. That's how I see it. But yeah, so there's pictures that reveal the charred remains of the 1.2 million dollars. So it was a 1.2 euros mansion that had the it says it's called the murder mansion. Chris Foster was 50 and he shot his wife. It says Jill and teenage daughter Christy. So I got her name wrong. So her name was Jill Foster, not Susan. I think Susan may have been on a different case that I've been following. Sorry guys, I've been sick. That's why I haven't posted any videos. Don't worry, you can't catch it through the internet. I wanted to bring awareness to is that though I believe family annihilator was coined here in America, but there's reports from BBC that say that they have at least 5 of these types of crimes happen between BBC and Wales per year. So this is not as uncommon as we think it is. And again, this, it's just so sad because the Watt story is the one that got the most attention, but there are so many other stories of this that, you know, there sometimes there's signs, sometimes there are no signs. I mean, who knows, you know, when the ladies or women that are in a situation like, if you're in a domestic situation, and I could tell you from my experience, you know, it starts out with control. They want to control everything you do, from everything you watch, from everything you see, from everything to who sees you. Then it just starts. Then it starts with physical abuse. So, I've been through that as well. I got to a point where, and this was when I was really young. This guy that I was with, like, I would have to, like, he would, I was so young and stupid, but he would, like, if I would walk somewhere, he'd always want me to look at the floor. I couldn't look up at anyone. If I looked up at anyone, then, I'm checking them out, and then it would cause a whole fight. And I remember one time he was abusing me, literally beating me up, and bystander stopped it, so that was appreciated. I wish I could let that person know. So it came to a point to where I knew if I stayed in that relationship, because I started to fight back. I mean, he was a man, he was bigger and stronger. We were young, but he was also very strong. He would punch me in the face. Like, luckily, my nose is okay. I mean, he punched me straight in the nose, like as if I was a guy. And and then I started fighting back. So we would start beating, I had to learn how to defend myself. I did learn to defend myself that way, but I knew that if I didn't get out of there, one of us were going to end up dead, because he was, it was sad. It was like, as soon as he would be the nicest guy, and then as soon as he started drinking, he would turn into this monster. And then the next day he'd be, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry." Would even cry. Oh my gosh, when a guy says he's sorry and he starts crying at you and saying that he's never going to happen again, that's a red freaking flag right there. It will happen again. Once an abuser is like that, if he doesn't get treatment, he's not going to stop, and he can kill you. So, my best advice would be, get out, look for any type of domestic help there is out there. Domestic violence is no joke. Women fall victim to it, even men fall victim to it every year. So, if you have an abusive relationship, as hard as it is, it's better to get out. Even if the financial means are going to be rough, it's better to live like that than live, essentially, like as if you're a possession of someone's. So I'm going to leave some links below so that you can go ahead and, if you're suffering from any of these issues, or if you need help, you can reach out to a local domestic violence shelter. I mean, just remember, if you do have to go into a shelter, these are just stepping stones to what can become greater in your life. The thing is just getting away from the threat, the person that's hurting you, because they could possibly end your life. So this is no joke. Ladies and gentlemen, you really need to beware of those that are abusive, because when they are abusive, obviously, number one, you never know when it's going to happen. Number two, they could take your life. And again, I think I've said this before, once your life is gone, it's gone, and that's it. There's no second chances on that. So, just please beware. And again, I'm very sick. I hadn't posted in a couple of days because I've been so sick. I don't think it's COVID. I've already had COVID. So it doesn't feel as bad, but it's, I've just been sleeping off and on. And like, I even went to work today for a short time, but I went left right away because I was sick and I just didn't want to get the whole crew sick. But in any event, please like and subscribe to my videos if you find them interesting, or if you enjoy spending, a little bit of your day with me. I'm going to try to add the links and then add in some pictures to this video. And hopefully, you will see that though we see, these cases that are in the media about these family annihilators or massacres, it actually it's not common, but it's more common than we think. It's been going on for a long time. So, that is just another whole can of worms to even talk about. Again, I'm not a doctor here. I'm not trying to make a diagnosis. I know that I read that the man is a narcissist. I feel like the word narcissist is kind of an overused term. There's a part of self-preservation that, we all need to have. So just because someone is using their self-preserving doesn't make them a narcissist. There's a lot of other things that go into a person that actually falls under the category of a narcissist. Now, again, that doesn't mean that Chris Foster wasn't a narcissist. It just means that I'm not going to go ahead and say that. And it says that they just never know. There's lots of families that have problems, so they just never know. The doctors or whoever, the police, they never know which family is this that this is going to happen to, or that this type of tragedy will be the end of the situation. So there are lots of places to reach out to when you're having trouble. If someone, for example, like this man, he did reach out for help and wasn't believed. If that happened to me, then I would go and see another doctor. Like if I was feeling really despair, then I would go and seek another doctor or more help. I mean, how dare someone tell you that if you're feeling like you want to harm yourself, that they don't take you seriously? That in itself is just like pure negligence. To me, my opinion, on the doctor's behalf. He could have, possibly helped this from even happening. So, anyways, you guys, thanks for spending time with me, and I hope to see you soon in the next video. In the meantime, again, if you like my content, please like and subscribe, and I will continue to create new videos. Again, I've just been really sick, okay? Take care. I'll talk to you soon, and have a good night. Bye-bye.